Welcome to Parent with Purpose. Today we are going to be talking to a gentleman who, him and his wife made it a choice to decide to adopt. And so we're going to be talking about adoption today. So if for any reason you are either struggling having children or you have had children and you are thinking of adoption, stay tuned because this might be the right one for you. Really? So welcome, Randy.
Thank you very much.
You have one son.
That's correct.
And he is adopted.
He sure is.
Okay,
yeah,
so,
absolutely.
and I know, you and I talked briefly about it beforehand here, so I really want to make sure we get that part in here because I think that was crucial. So I'm just going to ask you broadly, tell me what the process was for you, why you decided to do what you did, how you went about it, the nuts and bolts of all of the adoption process.
Yeah, it's kind of a whirlwind, to be honest. Adoption, it takes time. It really takes time. It takes commitment. And for us, I think the one thing I remember telling you when we had a little bit of discussion that this is our choice. It was our choice. It became our first choice as a family. So my wife and I decided that this was our journey, our purpose, our destiny. And we struggled a little bit early on in our marriage and, maybe conceiving, that type of thing. But the reality for us was we never went another direction after that. We didn't go to, and again, those are whatever direction you choose to create your family and build your family, that's wonderful. For us, it was a natural thing for us to adopt. And I really felt strongly about it, and so did my wife, and it's been a beautiful thing. My son Lucas is 11 years old. He'll be 12 in September.
Awesome.
And he is the love of our life. We love him to pieces. It's like we've never been without him.
Right.
It's because it's natural, and he is our choice, and he knows that he's chosen, and he's our forever family.
Right.
And we love the process. It was a long journey. Originally we had started, sorry for, continuing talking about this, but
please.
I'm very passionate about it,
That's
of course.
awesome.
We originally were going to adopt internationally.
Right.
And that whole process was a long, arduous process and very costly as well. And we went through that process, and the country that we were adopting from closed its doors to Canada just after we had got our number and registered and all that type of thing. So it was one of those things where it's like, man, is this really meant to be for us, or should we just drop this whole thing? But we just knew in our hearts we needed to continue on the journey. And so, one thing led to another, and before we knew it, we were adopting domestically right here in Canada.
Nice. So how long of a process was it for you in total?
With the international and the domestic, we were probably about 4 to 6 years through the process, yeah.
Okay, so if somebody was just to start domestically, how long is that process?
That's a little quicker.
Okay.
And so that the first 4 years of our journey was that kind of international. And the last couple of years of our journey was domestic. And, you have to go through all the home studies and, the counseling pieces. I think that's important to mention as well. Getting your home study done and going through some of the counseling pieces to make sure you're ready for this process. And that took a couple of years.
Is there an age qualification, an income qualification? I know every country might be different, so we can only speak about Canada, but is there certain things that people already have to think about before they even bother calling in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to what the age limits are. We were in our late 30s starting this journey. So I don't know what it's like if someone were in their 50s or 60s or 70s. So I don't have the answer to that. But for us, it happened for us in our late 30s.
So it could even be as early as 20s then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And income, was there a certain criteria?
They went through all that with us, but we qualified, and it wasn't a really tough process when it came to income. Yeah.
Okay. So when you mentioned counseling. Never thought of that because we haven't gone through the adoption process, but that's actually a very good thing. Why was the counseling helpful to you? What did they do?
Well, I think it was helpful for us because it opened our eyes to all the possibilities that surround this adoption process, to help us to think outside the box a little bit, and also to ask the tough questions. Are you really ready? Is this something you really want?
Right.
Is this a second or third or fourth choice? And if so, then how are you going to deal with that?
Right.
So those are some of those really, really tough questions. But for us, it was no, this is our first choice. It became our new first choice.
I knew for sure. I love that. That's what you had said earlier. I love
Yeah.
that. And your son knows that, and that's huge, right? Because it's
Yeah.
important that
He knows he's chosen. He
He's
knows
chosen.
he's chosen.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? In all honesty, I mean, people who get pregnant accidentally,
Mhm.
this is an even better choice than that, right?
Yeah,
The fact that
this-
we choose to keep that child is
Yeah.
our choice.
That's a
but
beautiful
you-
choice, yeah.
It's a great choice.
And this is another beautiful.
So your son knew at what age?
We started talking about it right from the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah,
just so that there was never
Yeah,
any...
so it was natural.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess that was always my thing that I kind of wondered for kids is because, he didn't know that he was always aware that he was adopted. So, but I know that there's lots of children, even my own, who will come to me sometimes and say, Mom, am I adopted? And,
Yeah.
you guys are so different than I am. Like, are you sure I'm not? No,
Yeah.
you're not adopted.
Yeah.
But I can imagine if children are adopted,
Yeah.
somehow there's got to be that sense of questioning or wondering, maybe even knowing. I
Sure,
don't know,
yeah.
right? So,
And those are healthy things for your children to go through
Yes.
if they are adopted is what are those questions that they have? And be open and honest with them. My wife is 10 times better at this than I am. I'm like, what's that? What did you just say? But again, it's that kind of process of working that through together and working it through as a team. And I think it's important for your viewers to understand that as they go through this process, to talk about it, talk about it with your children, and so that they know that they're chosen, they're loved, this is the forever family that they're a part of.
So now that the family's here and established, does he have any issues with other kids? Like, does anybody ever kind of make fun of that?
Well, I think this is important for us too. At school, his friends would come up because we look alike. My son and I look alike, and we have similar mannerisms. It's really wild to watch. But his friends will say, "He said he's adopted. Really? Is he adopted? He's not adopted." I'm like, "Well, what did he say? What is his story? This is his story."
Nice.
Well, he told us he's adopted. Well, he's right. He sure is. You're right. He is adopted. Wow, that's neat. And then he feels really, good about it. He owns it.
He owns it, so you let him tell his story.
Right, and we're trying to remove, again, a stigma that comes with the adoption tag. It should be a natural process. We should all feel like this is a normal part of our life and humanity.
Well, and I don't think, in today's society, with how open we are about so many subjects, I don't think the stigma is as big as it used to be years ago, right? It's people understand that families are so different and so unique now, right? We've got blended families, and we've got all kinds of different things. So I don't think it's as huge of a stigma, but my concern was...
And it's a little bit more frequent now for children, too. They run into each other and they're like, "You're adopted? Hey, I'm adopted. You're adopted? Oh, neat."
That's cool.
And it creates other bonds. One of my best friends, he's adopted. And, we talked about his journey. He actually helped my wife and I through the process.
Nice.
It was really great.
That's nice. So now it's all said and done. You guys have your family and everything's fine. Is there a place that people can go once they've already adopted if they struggle with all of this as it goes on? Like, is there groups? Is there support groups? Can you go back to the same counseling people? Like, how do people continue that support?
There are support groups, and going through the process, we actually didn't realize the resources that were even available to us. And, later on, we're like, that was available to us? Oh my gosh, someone should have told us about that, right?
Right.
So make sure you ask those questions, write those things down. For our family, it's natural for us to see counseling.
Right.
Some people, are a little bit weirded out about, seeing a psychologist or psychometrists or these types of things, right? I think it's great. I think it's a beautiful thing to engage in conversations and be asked questions that maybe you weren't ever thinking about.
Sure. And a professional will ask the right questions to get you thinking about things you need to be thinking
So we
about.
do that. We do that on a regular, kind of family checkup, my wife and I. It's great.
All right, so today, if you were thinking about adoption, I'm hoping that Randy was able to help you. We will have some resources down there below for adoption in Canada. But if you are one of the audience that is actually not in Canada, please just check Google because I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But as Randy said, it actually it's more about you making the choice for your children and being as transparent as you possibly can in order to have a healthy, happy family. So as always, we want to wish you an awesome day. We're good.